Walk through the old center of Sibiu, and sooner or later, you will look up. At first, the roofs seem ordinary. Red tiles, steep slopes, chimneys. The kind of old buildings you might pass in many European cities. Then you notice two dark openings beneath the tiles. They are narrow, they are curved, and together, they look like a pair of eyes. Once you see them, the street changes. One house looks awake, then another, and suddenly, it feels as if the whole city is quietly looking back. The same shape appears above large squares, narrow lanes, shops, courtyards, and covered passages. Some of the openings look sleepy, some look surprised, some sit alone, others appear in pairs, just far enough apart for your brain to complete a face. People call them the eyes of Sibiu. The name sounds mysterious, but the openings were not built to watch anyone. They were built to solve an ordinary problem, and that is the real beginning of the story. That part is real. A practical roof feature became one of Sibiu's most recognizable details. Sibiu grew over many centuries. Its historic center is not one perfect design made at one moment. It is a collection of connected squares, narrow streets, steps, passages, merchants' houses, workshops, and inner courtyard periods stand close together. That mixture could easily feel untidy. But when the same curved roof openings return from building, you have probably seen larger versions on houses in Britain, France, Germany, the Netherlands, or the United States. And it still feels local. Many dormers look like small rooms sticking out of a roof. The Sibiu version is lower and wider. The tiles lift gently over the opening, then settle back into the slope. Architects often call this an eyebrow dormer. That name fits the shape, but the shape is only the visible part. Behind it is a simple job. The opening helps air move through the attic or loft space. An old roof has to manage more than rain. Warm air rise also be helpful to an old timber roof. Ventilation gives that air somewhere to go. Fresh air can enter. Warmer, wetter air can leave. Modern buildings may use purpose-made vents, insulation systems, fans, or natural airflow. The eye helped the roof breathe. The low curved form also sits differently from a large, box-shaped dormer. It does not rise far above the builder needed air in the attic, not a face on the street. But architecture often creates meanings that no one planned. A useful one roof may have a single opening, another may have two or three. That variation matters because that difference matters. You recognize the shared shape, but each roof has its own expression. Repairs, changing materials, different builders, and different periods all leave small differences behind. The city repeats an idea without copying it perfectly. That is one reason the streets feel human instead of designed by a single template. The building only does half the work. Your brain does the rest. Humans are extremely quick to find faces. We see them in electrical outlets, car fronts, coffee machines, clouds, and marks on walls. Give the brain two dark shapes, a little symmetry, and a line above them, and it begins to build a face. You do not need a those clues. To dark openings become eyes. The curved tiles above them become eyebrows. The wall below becomes the rest of the face. And because the openings often sit near the same height, the pair feels balanced. Your brain notices the pattern before you have time to study the architecture. You know the roof is not alive. You know it cannot see you. But the feeling arrives before the correction. For a brief moment, the building has attention. It is wrong. Same eyes may look tired or suspicious. Rain deepens the color of the tiles. Snow can draw a pale line along the curve above the opening. A cloud passes. The expression changes. Nothing in the building has shadow as mood. This is why photographs of the same roof can feel completely different. The face is partly in the building, the life. Below them, people open shops, carry bags, meet friends, repair windows, drink coffee, and this used for centuries, even though they are not really watching at all. That contrast gives them emotional weight. The human activity below is temporary. The repeated shapes above feel patient. A simple roof opening becomes a quiet witness, and buildings, largest monument. Often, memory holds on to smaller things. A doorway you kept passing, the sound of shoes on stone, work in exactly, or something later. You do not need an architecture lesson to recognize the city. You only need to look up. The repeated shapes and tall windows. London has rows of brick terraces and dark railings. These features began for practical, economic, an entire place. Sibiu's eyes perform the same job. They are not a modern logo. No marketing team placed them across. Across the skyline. They became a symbol slowly, because builders reused a practical idea, and generations chose. They sit between function and imagination. From inside the roof, they are part of a ventilation system. From the street, they are faces. For a builder, they are openings in tile and timber. For a visitor, they are characters. Neither reading cancels the other. The practical explanation does not destroy the mystery. It can be dramatic. Not every building needs to be unique. Sometimes a city only needs one clear detail, repeated with enough variation to feel natural. The detail becomes a pattern. The pattern becomes a habit. The habit becomes a personality. And eventually, that personality becomes part of how the outside world remembers the place. Sibiu's roofs did not begin. Sibiu openings. You add a face. You see that face again and again. And soon, the whole city seems alive. The roofs are not looking at Sibiu. They are part of the way Sibiu looks back at us. What small detail gives your city its personality? Leave it in the comments. This is Invisible Atlas. Real places, strange details, and the hidden reasons we remember them.